Bismillah, read. كان زيد بن أرقم
يكبر على جنازة
وأنه أكبر. When it's the beginning of the sentence, then it's إنه. When it's the middle of the sentence, وأنه. You sure? You got your kitab? إنه. You? Okay.
كبر على جنازة
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن عبد الرحمن بن أبي ليلى قال كان زيد بن أرقم يكبر على جنائزنا أربعا. narrating authority of Abdurrahman ibn Auf, he said that Zayd ibn Arqam used to make 4 takbirs in Janabaz, like how we know when we make 4 takbirs, isn't it? First takbir, then you say after it, Subhanakallah wa bihamdika wa tabarak asmuka wa ta'ala jaddaka wa la ilaha ghayruk, isn't it? Like normal salah. Second takbir, you read Durood Sharif, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Third takbir, اللهم اغفر لحييتنا اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا. Can I test you the du'as? Can I test it to you? Commander will test you, right? Test you the dua. You know the dua? I can test you the dua. Dua of Janazah Salat. Can I test you? You know it? Read it. The Janazah Salat dua. اللهم من أحييته منا right, mashallah. You know it? Ismail, know it? Sure, can I test you? Okay, mashallah. Right. So we know, so then after the first takbir you recite that dua, then immediately after you make salam, right? 2 salams. So that is how we know it. So this one sahabi here, he used to sometimes read 4 rakats and sometimes he used to read, he used to make 4 takbirat and sometimes he used to make 5 takbirat. But we asked him, how come you're making now 5 sometimes? قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يكبرها. So you think sometimes Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam also used to make 4 takbirs. So the Imam Arba'ah, the four Imams, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, etc., they're all muttafaq alayh that you make 4 takbir. That's why if you go to the Haramain Sharifain or you travel the world over today, you see they all make 4. So this hadith is matruk. Matruk is, inshallah, when you come to Tirmidhi Sharif, sometimes the hadith can be sahih even. What happens? A hadith can be 100% sahih, but his matruk means it's been left out. That means even the Sahaba Ikram never practice upon it. You understand what I'm saying? When we say it's matruk, that means nobody practice upon it. If the Sahaba never practice upon it, then generally we speak about the senior Sahaba Ikram, right? Obviously the Sahabi practice upon it. Then none of the, that's why if you follow the opinions of the Imam Arba'ah, like Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, most of the time you see it will go back to some of the senior Sahaba Ikram. Right? So this here is matruk. None of the Sahaba Ikram never really practice upon it. When you do Tirmidhi Sharif, inshallah, next year you see certain. So sometimes a hadith can be sahih, it can be authentic, it can have the best sanad. But for some reason or the other, the Ummah never practiced upon it because they understood this was a once-off thing. They understood this was a once-off thing. Nabi only done it once, or it is masukh, or maybe Nabi Sallallahu last action was contrary to that action. You understand what I'm saying? So the last action of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was to make 4 takbirat. And all the riwayat is narrated from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam directly. They all speak about 4. So here you got the action of a Sahabi. On the other side, you got the action of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, a clear hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And you got all the Sahaba Ikram making 4. So what you going to go with? You're going to go with 4. But then this still begs the question that come in your mind. Okay, Nabi Sallallahu made 4 and all the Sahaba Ikram made 4 takbirat. So what is the Sahabi speaking about? 2, 3 generic answers you could give here. One answer you'd give, maybe this was a once-off thing that Nabi Sallallahu done, he has mentioned here in the Hasha, maybe Nabi Sallallahu done this takriman out of honor for the Shuhada of Uhud, or maybe it is something which is mansukh, maybe it was in the initial stages of Islam, but then it became mansukh. Or it could mean sometimes he used to do it like this also. And it is mentioned also that as Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he gathered the entire ummah on 4 takbir, right? Read the next riwayat. فقرأ فاتحة الكتاب. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وأن طلحة بن عبد الله بن عوف, رأيتنا authority of طلحة بن عبد الله بن عوف said, صليت خلف ابن عباس. I once prayed behind Hazrat Ibn Abbas رضي الله تعالى عنه على جنازة at a جنازة فقرأ فاتحة الكتاب. And Hazrat Abbas recited فاتحة الكتاب, right? Recited فاتحة الكتاب. فقال, so he said, لتعلموا أنها سنة. Why I read it? So that you must know it is sunnah. Why I read it? So that you must know it is sunnah. Rawahu al-Bukhari, Imam Bukhari narrates this particular riwayat. So the question comes about now, we just discussed we discussed what is janaza namaz about, right? And we said janaza namaz is what? Right? So here he's saying that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam recited Surah Fatiha. Right? So Hazrat Imam Shafi'i, in your fiqh, what they speak about reciting Fatiha in the Janazah namaz? So you don't recite Salah first. You don't recite Subhanakallah bihamdika wa tabarak ismuka wa ta'ala jaddaka wa la at all. You say Allah Akbar and you recite Surah Fatiha. Okay, that's interesting. I never know that. So as the Imam Shafi'i makes amal upon this hadith here, right? That Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I'm sorry, that Hazrat Ibn Abbas's hadith, that Hazrat Ibn Abbas must recite Surah Fatiha. So actually, it's Hazrat Imam Shafi'i, Hazrat Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. They say after the first takbir, it is wajib to recite Surah Fatiha. And also here, they mention it is afdal, it is better to recite it softly as well. It's better to recite it softly as well, all right? Hazrat Imam Malik and Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, they say you cannot recite Surah Fatiha as a qiraat of the Quran. I've done this masla with you people before. Sometimes some verses of the Quran, they can be read as a qiraat or they can be read as a dua. Like if you look at, you look at your mu'awwazatayn, Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, etc., etc. This, even if a woman is out, she's experiencing her menses, or even if a man is in halat janabat, but you read this with the intention that you're reading it as a dua, then it's permissible to read it. You understand what I'm saying? But you cannot read it as a Quran. So you can read it min haythu dua, la min haythu tilawa. You understood that? So listen nicely now. I'm not saying in the Hanafi madhab you can't read Surah Fatiha. You can't read min haythul tilawa. Because we say janazah namaz is a dua itself. That is why after the janazah namaz you don't make a dua. You notice that after the janazah namaz you don't make a dua. Why? Because janazah namaz itself is a dua. So because janazah namaz is a dua, if you recite Surah Fatiha in the janazah namaz, like how the Shafis do, then you will make intention that you're reciting it as a dua, not you reciting it as a tilawa. Are you with me? So what is the proof of the Shawafi? Obviously this hadith here, صليت خلف ابن عباس على جنازة فقرأ فاتحة الكتاب فقال لتعلموا. The you saying, yes, Ibn Abbas is saying, he's claiming, he's saying لتعلموا, so that you may know it is sunnat. So the Shawafi and the Hanabila, they use this riwayat of Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu to say it is wujub, wajib rather. And also, this is one way they use this hadith of Ibn Abbas. And another way they say, look here, remember this hadith, they say, La salata illa bi fatihatil kitab. What is the hadith? La salata illa bi fatihatil kitab. There's no salat except with the fatihatul kitab. They say, look here, janazah salat is a salat also. So because the salat in salat is not valid except with fatihatul kitab, so this will also be a salat. You understood what I'm saying? I mean, you also have to recite Surah Fatiha in it because it's a salat, and salat, la salat illa bi Fatihatul Kitab. The salat is not valid except with Fatihatul Kitab. The Ahnaf and the Mamalika say that, look, if you look at the ahadith, if you look at the riwayat that speaks about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's own salat, right? Then it's not sabi that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited it. And they say many a times, as Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he would use his own ijtihad. He'd apply his own analogies. And he would refer to as sunnat. So we've got, on one side, we've got as Ibn Abbas applying his own analogy, or we've got him saying it's sunnat. But on the other side, we've got clear hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam didn't recite Surah Fatiha. So what will we go with? What will we go with? We'll obviously go with what? We'll go with the clear hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's a riwayat in Muwatta Imam Malik also. Maybe we'll do this also, inshallah. We stick around longer, we can do Muwatta Imam Malik. You stay extra here for Muwatta Imam Malik, Luqman. Say yes, he wants to say extra. Ismail don't mind because he just come when he's let's do it, don't come. So he'll say anytime. Say, I'll stay 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, because I come when I want to, go when I want to. Right. So certain places in the Sahih Sita they teach Muwatta Imam Malik, and certain places they also teach Muwatta Imam Muhammad also. So obviously Muwatta Imam Muhammad will have all the Hanafi proofs in it. Muwatta Imam Malik will have all the Maliki proofs in it, right? So in Muwatta Imam Malik there is a clear riwayat where as Ibn Umar. And another interesting thing I want to tell you is if you look at the Hanafi madhab, we take our madhab mostly from Ibn Umar and Ibn Mas'ud. Who we take our madhab mostly from? Must remember that, it will help you. So there's a clear riwayat in Muwatta Imam Malik, rahimallah ta'ala, that where Hazrat Ibn Umar said, Hazrat Ibn Umar did not recite Surah Fatiha in, in the Janazah namaz. And like I told you earlier, that the Ahnaf and the Mamalika, they say that Janazah Salat is a dua, right? And you know what is the masnoon when you make dua? First, when you start, what is this on a separate issue? When you make dua, how you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wal aqibatu lil muttaqeen was salatu was salamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. You start your dua by praising Allah Ta'ala and saying durood and salam on Allah Ta'ala. So logically even, it stands to reason that you must say Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk. And then you read the durood, etc., like how we said. But we're saying at the end of the day, we say, even though we say that, that you must read Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika, but we say that you can recite Surah Fatiha. The Hanafi says also, you can recite Surah Fatiha, but when you recite Surah Fatiha, you will make intention that you're reciting it as a sana, not as a qira'at. Because Janazah namaz is not like a regular salah, which have qira'at in it, which have ruku in it, and have sajda in it. You understood that? Right, read the next hadith, inshallah. The next hadith, the beautiful hadith. Yusuf, read it.
وعن عبد بن مالك صلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم على جنازة.
So narrated on the authority of Ibn Malik, he said once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed upon a janazah, right?
على جنازة فحفظت من دعائه وهو يقول.
And I remember right from, so it just shows that maybe Nabi sallallahu was writing a slightly audible voice. ويقول, he was saying,
اللهم اغفر له وارحمه
oh Allah Ta'ala, forgive this deceased.
وارحمه
وَرَحَّمْهُ, and show mercy upon him.
وعافه
And give him safety in all senses of the word. Keep him safe, afiyat. Keep him safe, keep him salim. Forgive him.
نزله
وَأَكْرِمْ نُزُلَهُ, honor his arrival.
سع مدخله
وَوَسِعْ مَدْخَلَهُ, and make spacious his entry into Jannat.
واغسله بالماء والثلج والبرد
And purify him, cleanse him with water, wasalji, ice, snow, baradi, and ice.
ونقه من الخطايا كما نقيت الثوب الأبيض من الدنس.
وَنَقِّهِ, and purify him from his mistakes, like how, Ya Allah, you cleanse a thawb al-abyad, a white cloth, from its dirt.
وأبدله دارا خيرا من داره
And Ya Allah, grant him a house better than his house, subhanallah.
وأهلا خيرا من أهله
And grant him family better than his family, because obviously family from Jannat is better. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرُ وَأَبْقَى.
وزوجا خيرا من زوجه
And grant him a wife better than the wife, more beautiful than the wife, and he got in the dunya. Grant him a wife in the akhirat.
وأدخله الجنة
And enter him into Jannat.
وأعذه من عذاب القبر
And protect him from the azab of the qabr.
من عذاب النار.
And protect him from the azab of the fire.
في رواية وقه فتنة القبر وعذاب النار.
And in one riwayat, he says, وَقِهِ فِتْنَةَ الْقَبْرِ. One riwayat comes, Allah Ta'ala, you protect him from the tests and the trials and the tribulation of the qabr. وَعَذَابَ النَّارِ, and protect him from the azab of the fire.
قال حتى تمنيت.
Subhanallah. So this Sahabi, Auf ibn Malik, had heard Nabi Sallallahu making this dua. This is such a beautiful dua. Imagine, look there. Allahumma fillahu warhamhu wa'afi wa'afu anhu wa'akrim nuzula wa wasid ma'adkhalahu waghsilhu bil ma'i wa thalji wal baradi wa naqqihi min al khataya kama naqqayta ثوب الأبيض من الدنس وأبدله دارا خيرا من داره وأهلا خيرا من أهله وزوجا خيرا من زوجه وادخله الجنة وعيذه من عذاب القبر ومن عذاب النار. He said, this is such a beautiful dua. When I heard Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam making this dua for this person, I wished that I was the deceased and I could have been the recipient and I could have been the beneficiary of this beautiful dua. حتى أكون أنا ذلك الميت زوجا خيرا من زوجه. So on a one-to-one level, if you just look at like at one-to-one, then the woman of Jannat will be more better, more beautiful than the woman of this dunya, right? Right? If you were to compare the current status quo, if you compare the woman of Jannat to the woman of this dunya, then the women of Jannah are far more beautiful. They are far more clean. They don't have dirty body fluids, all that type of thing. But a person's wife, when she goes to Jannah, she will be transformed into such a figure that is even more beautiful than the Hur of Jannah. She will be transformed. She will be the queen of all the Hur of Jannah. You understood that? So here they say, just expanding on this point here about cleaning with ice, snow, cold water, etc. These are all mediums of cleansing something. Water from the springs, water from the rivers, etc. So here the Shari is saying that this is such a beautiful dua that actually the Imams, the Imam should make a point of reading this dua also. And he says also that the Arab ulama, they also read this dua sometimes. People read this dua. People don't read the dua. Allah maghfir li aitna. Does you read this one here? You know it's off. Can you read it fast? Can I test you? Okay, mashallah. So anyway, if you look at the Hanafi madhab, you see, you know, there is different zamair. If there's one person, then it's a specific dua. If it's a child, it's a different dua. If it's many people, it's a different dua than a zamir. Allahumma khfir lahum aghfir laha. Allahumma khfir litifl. That is why you see in the Haramain, you know, in Shahri they say, Salatul janaizi asabakumullah. As-salatu ala tifli, etc., etc. You recall that, Lukman? So they tell you, why they tell you that? Because remember, if you go back to your masnoon dua, you see there that there's a different dua. Like you know Arabic, so for female is a different pronoun, for a male is a different pronoun. If it's several people, it's a different pronoun, etc., etc. So sometimes Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would also recite in a slightly audible voice. Would recite in a slightly audible voice. Ta'liman lil ummah, to teach the ummah. Although the Hanafis has chosen the other du'as, but according to Hazrat Imam Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala, he said this is the most authentic part. This is the most authentic hadith that has been narrated. This has been the most authentic hadith that has been narrated according to, or this is the most authentic dua that has been narrated with regards to the janazah salah. So, okay, the next riwayat is a bit of a long one. That one is about, you know, we discussed yesterday about doing the janazah salah in a masjid. You know, we discussed a little bit about that yesterday. So this next riwayat is a lengthy one. It pertains to that. So we'll do that on Monday, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala spares us. Allah Ta'ala accept what we've done today. Allah Ta'ala accept it. Make it a means of our forgiveness. Show it on our good scales and make it a means of shifa from all illnesses. Okay, what's the next video you have now? Chill out. Muslim 2, how's it going?